Okay, let's do another update. I've done quite a bit of working on this platform game that I'm sort of hoping to release before next year as a little hobby project. Let me just try and find itch.io 4Seasons. What's it called? itch.io 4Seasons. Here we go. So I took this Tileset. One of my biggest problems was the visuals. I clearly wasn't very good at drawing stuff and coming up with color palettes. So I took this Tileset, which is public domain, and I sort of changed the way that that it looks a bit. It was actually, I think this is actually a copy of the one that I used. I don't think this is the original one. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm pretty sure this is not the original. But I found one or two of them that were copied already, but I thought I would do my own one and not use one that sort of exists already. Now in Sprite, you can see here I'm busy working on some stuff. So here's the tile set that I've changed. I've added really 3 variations of tiles. So it's this sort of icy top, gray, gravelish looking one. Then there's a pure icy one, and then this sort of yellow brownish one. Now this initially was sort of a 4 seasons. It had summer, winter, and autumn, and one other one that I can't remember. The colors, I mean, I know the other season. And I sort of added my own thing. So I added my own ladder over here, and I made the tiles so that they can connect. Because initially it was just these square tiles, and if you take a look at this example, you'll actually see there. This, like I said, this is the edit, so I'm sure. But it was all sort of these square tiles, so you couldn't make a solid platform like that. Oh yeah, right, green and brown was the other tile. Anyway, so I did this, and I made these little checkpoints. So instead of just a silly box, it's actually a little computer-looking thing. Some bridges, which I can still implement. I haven't done yet. Some weird-looking trees. I've made this sort of as a maybe. And then I made the little arrows. I made this little oxygen pump thingy. I'll talk about that in a second. And this is some bubbles. Then the different checkpoints. I copied the fruit. I didn't change them. But this goes hand in hand with the little oxygen pump over there. And I think that's, oh, and I added this little blade saw, a track for the blade saw, 2 variations of the crate that there was. And I think, oh, and the tree stump, I added an additional tree stump so we can have longer trees. I haven't actually put those in yet. And that's sort of artwork related stuff that I've done. Then I've also created my own enemies. I didn't actually use any inspiration for this. I totally just did it. So I made a little owl looking character. This is him peeking out from the ground. This will be spawn animation. Then we also had an owl walk, which I can't seem to find. So let's go to my folder characters, owl walk. So he's got a bit of a walking animation. It's got to be really slow though. In Sprite, else it looks funny. So it's sort of moving and, you know, bouncing up and down. And then I had another one, which was a squid looking character. And I just have a walk animation for him. Okay, a little too fast. So there's my little squid pretending he can float. Okay, then in the game, I'm going to talk about this code in a second because I followed this really, really good tutorial. But okay, the characters. So let's look at level 1. Now, another thing that I decided to change is the camera. I've added a snippet of code to the camera script. Target position somewhere. Follow player. Oh man, that was so hard to find. Follow player. And it's a Boolean, And if the follow player is set to false, the camera simply won't move. It's not going to try and follow the player, it's going to remain static. And I kind of got this idea from Celeste, the 2D game that I think has the most tremendous control. It's just so finely tuned, and it just feels great to play the game. Anyway, so I got that idea from there. So if I open up level 1, let's play the scene, you'll see the character can move around, but the camera is static. And it actually feels more stable in a sense. Maybe my camera follow script just wasn't very good. Well, it was okay. It just at times felt a little jagged, like it wasn't moving as smooth as I would like it to move. And that's for a lack of my knowledge, right? I mean, I just don't know how to fine tune that kind of stuff yet. It's stuff that I'll be learning. So this is the new thing that I'm going for. Static camera, small levels, that sort of like rooms almost. So this is the one room. You have to get the key, get to the end, and that's the end of your room. And then you progress to the next room. Now, currently you can still walk normally in the water. You can just kill this guy and it'll respawn. You actually saw there it still has the death animation of the other character. And this one you can sort of knock out, and then he pops up and takes a look around and he starts moving. And then we can move to the next screen. I've changed the buttons as well. I have some weird things with the button. Like if I use the D-pad, you can see it doesn't actually go to continue. I have to use the analog stick, and I'm not sure what I did because that was working perfectly fine. But I'll figure that out later. So level 2, I used the icy stage, well, icy tile set. And some of the yellow water, I actually put spikes at the bottom, so if you fall in here, you'll die. I'm gonna put the spikes a little further down even. And then the moving platform is the next thing I want to talk about. So I get the key, last level, and this next level actually still has the camera follow. And every time I come back to it, it feels okay, but there's something about that static level that really feels so stable. And I think I'm going to keep it like that. So here's that sort of level. I've added some of the orange stuff. And if I just finish this off quickly, you can see that the mechanics still work otherwise. Okay, enough of that. Now, the one thing I do want to talk about is this moving platform, because I followed a great tutorial on how to get this moving. One thing I immediately noticed, though, there's a bit of jitter. If I'm standing on the platform, if I'm moving up, it's fine. But if I move down, you'll see the player sort of, as the collision is trying to correct, it sort of looks like he floats on the platform a little bit. And I think that's because of the way that it's being done. But I might just live with that for now and not worry too much about it. Because I don't think people in general are going to sit and stare at the character on the platform. That's probably not how they're going to play the game, right? They're going to get to here, wait to get something at the top maybe, and go to the finish. That's also a weird bug. I can't put the flag on the edge like that. And I'll show you one of the cool things that I learned in this tutorial video. Let's open up the moving platform. So we created a few items here. A 2D node, which is the root of the scene. A debug line, which is this green line that you see over here. And then there is the base, so that contains everything related directly to the platform. In other words, the body, the sprite, the collision, and the tween, which is how we animate this platform. Now, I'm not sure what the difference is between using the tween and the animation, but still. Then if we look at the code, it's actually quite simple. So we've got 6 main variables, 7 if you include this one. There's a duration, which is exposed to the person adding the platforms, which is me in this case, a move from and a move to, which are vector 2 positions. They default to 0, and this works because the global position of this platform, or rather the position of this platform, is a subchild of this moving platform. So this moving platform node you can position anywhere in the world, which would leave these two unaffected, because they would still just move from wherever the platform is situated. It won't try and add it to the global position of this platform, which is really, really nice. Then the debug line is that green line we saw, and this over here is one of the things that I learned. Engine is editor hint is false. So this little function that's attached to the engine object will tell you whether you're currently viewing it in the editor. In other words, am I currently looking at this screen where I'm adding the tiles? If so, draw this green line. And we do that part over here. Now for this to work in the process function, we check if we're currently in the editor view. If we are, call the update function, which triggers the draw function. And the draw function will then do that check again, and also check if there is in fact a debug line, if for any reason this object might not exist. We draw a line from the starting position of the debug node plus the move from position. So if this is vector 0, it'll just start at the current line position. If I move that somewhere else, that'll move away. And then the line to where it's moving. In other words, where do I want this platform to go? Draw a green line which is 2 pixels wide. And the cool thing about this is if I then go and say, all right, let's move this platform. So I've selected the moving platform there. Let's move it 80 pixels up. You can see the line actually gets longer. Or if we just want to move it like 24 pixels, 22 pixels, whatever, the line gets significantly shorter. So we can actually visually see where this line is, or where this platform is going to move up. And when it gets to the top, it triggers a completed tween method. Now, the video that I watched, the tutorial, actually connected it directly from this node over here. So if you go to the node tab, there is a tween completed, and you can double click this and connect it to your script. Now, I thought that was kind of cool, but when I looked at my code again, it felt a bit like a, what do they call it? A black box, a magic, automagically it's just there. And there wasn't any indication in code where that complete function is triggered. So I rather opted for connecting it directly to the object like this. So the tween completed method, pass in a reference to this class here, and then trigger the onTween complete function, which then checks, is the platform moving forward? If not, we simply reverse the two values over here that's passed to the set tween. So it expects the from and to, but then we flip it around. We actually pass it the to and from. Otherwise, if it is moving forward, we just call it as it should be called. And very important, don't forget to tween start. I missed this line and it took me like 10 minutes to figure out why my animation isn't actually playing. So yeah, just check that out. So the interpolate, that's a hard word to say on a Sunday evening. Interpolate property expects the object that will be modified, the property of the object that will be modified, the starting, the ending positions, how long it should take, and that's our duration that we exported at the top there. And then simply a linear transition, so straightforward, and then we use ease in and out to sort of start it slow and end it slow, and start it slow and end it slow. So it's not so staccato. It's smooth and it moves, looks a little more natural than just starting and stopping. And I thought that was terrific. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to stick with this plain simpler color scheme and designs. I was quite excited about the backgrounds I made in the last video, but the more I looked at it, the more it just felt disconnected from the rest of the artwork, and that I give up to my inexperience in drawing pixel art, like how to connect the artwork to be consistent. Right. So I haven't worked much further. I think the credits I sort of just made it simple. It's probably going to break because that background is still there. I haven't deleted it, thank goodness. But that background obviously is going to change to one of the backgrounds that I have over here. Let's do that one maybe, or I don't want it to be too boring. That's maybe too bright. I'm actually thinking about dropping the saturation on these backgrounds. Even though it's kind of cool and colorful, sometimes I think it distracts too much from the player. So the gray background is okay, but if we look at level 2, no, level 3, yeah, right. So that the yellow background there it feels a little intense. I don't know, maybe not. But I might just try it out and drop the saturation quite a bit so it looks a bit more washed out and it doesn't draw that much attention to itself. Right, and that's what I've been up to these last couple of days. And I don't think I should change anything else because I'm heading down that dangerous path where you add a little bit, but you're not actually finishing anything. You're sort of just adding a bunch of stuff and not making anything concrete. I think I've got quite a few mechanics that I'm happy with. The one more thing that I have to add is the blade, saw blade, because I really want that. I think that can be a pretty cool thing. Then I'm considering the mechanic for the ladder. I really want to add the ladder. Let's see if we can get the little bridges up and running. I quite like the way they look, so let's go do that. It's actually going to be pretty easy, I think. I don't think it's going to be that hard. So if we go to our resources folder, terrain, tileset, right, we have them here. And snapping is currently on, but if I were to choose new auto tile, and this is something that I'm still quite confused about. I think I get it, and then I try and make something, and then I realize I don't actually get it. So we're going to select this as our auto tile. We're going to set up collision, and I think we have to do this one because the way that it sort of drops. So I'm going to set up collision over here. And I think we have to turn this off for this to be easier. Oh wait, I made 2. Oh, see, great start. What on earth did I just do? Let's look at our regions. Yeah, see, I accidentally chose this region now. How do we delete this? Oh, region 25. Can I just select that? I don't know what selected region. This is tricky. Oh, 25? Delete? Ooh, I think that worked. Okay, let's try that again. Let's enable snapping. So choose this bridge. Set the collision. Choose that. And then we can simply draw there. No. There. There. Oh, snapping is on. Dang it. Wow, this is hard. New auto tile. Let's try that again. Collision. There. Turn off snapping. And we're simply going to go zoom in anymore. So that's the end of that. Let's turn off this info. Let's go there. Oh. There to there. Add a point to there. Good enough. I don't think it has to be perfect. Right. I think that's okay. So let's try this one. This can probably just be a square. Do that like this. I think there's an option here to keep polygon inside rect. Yeah, right. So then if we do move it, we can't go outside of the rectangle. Let's put that there so it doesn't look like we're floating directly on it. And there, maybe give some there, there. And I know there was an option to make this one way, but I don't know how to do that. One way, here we go. So check that. Same for this one. One way. Why is this yellow and this one is not? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete that region again. Because I think I can get away with... Let's try this. I think I can get away with using the squares. Let's add that. We're adding the square. Then enable snap. And then, since we keep it in this rectangle, that should be okay. That should be okay. And that should be okay. And then one way. So we can jump over the bridge. This looks a bit skew. It's kind of hard to see with a dark background. Right, so this looks skew. And then let's do this one. Square. Edit. We've got that enabled. Because I noticed we can actually do this. No need for all that hard work. Will this work? Who knows? Okay, and then lastly, let's do this one. So add a square collision there, there, there. Oh, don't forget to make that other one way. This one should also be one way. This one should be one way. Okay, now for the bit mask. If there is, let's do this one. Where's the selected tile? Here we go. And I've been using a 3x3. I don't know, honestly, if there's a big difference, but here we go. So this one, sides there. I think that's what we want. So when there's nothing on the left, draw this one. If there's something on the left and the right, and of course itself, draw this one. Otherwise, draw this one. We're going to see if this is going to work. So let's just try this out in level 1. Let's try and put it over here. So let's go to our newly created bridge. Okay, that seems to be working. So let's give the collision a test. Open that up. Jump over. Dish. All right, that seems to be working. I know, sort of. Oh, right. This is the infamous problem of 2D platformers. Stop moving on an incline. Dang it. Oh, and that's created a little thing there. Because my collision is probably not very good. Well, it's not set up properly. Collision. So let's see, that's up to the top. Up to the top. Let's reduce the incline a little bit and make this a bit... Yeah, it's going to look strange. It's too high. Okay, let's give this one a little test run, see if that fixed the getting stuck. Ding. And I'm getting stuck there. Wow, this is a lot harder than I thought. Still sliding down though. That did not solve the problem. Yeah, right. Now you can see I'm sort of floating on the bridge, which is not a good look. So this might not actually be as easy as I thought. I might actually have to do some work for this. Unless I'm just really lazy and do something like that. Can I copy this somehow? No. And just match it up there, which is going to make this one look a bit floaty. I'll figure that out in a sec. And then same for this one. And we can put that there. Yeah, this is gonna not look so cool at all. Desperate times, I suppose. Okay, let's first see how this looks. If I move this, I can't move it down. Yeah, this is not gonna work. I think I'll have to find some tutorials on inclines. Because this is gonna be bad. This is gonna look kind of crappy. Trying to line it up with the platform there. Let's see what happens when I do this craziness. Just out of interest, does it look really bad or just sort of bad? Getting stuck in two places. But it actually doesn't bother me all that much. If I can fix the getting stuck in the two places, then I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Right, because I don't want to... Oh, right, it's going to get stuck because the collision for the tile is there. And this one is sort of there, which is why it's getting stuck. But if I fix it, I'm pushing up the angle, and that's going to cause him to slide down again. So I'm kind of stuck with this sliding problem, I suppose. What should I do? I just don't know. Should I just let him slide a bit? Some fun slides for the player. Not getting stuck. Oh, every now and then. Oh. So I guess the speed that you travel depends. Getting stuck there on the second one every now and then. Yeah, I don't think this is a good solution. Unless I'm just more lazy, which in fact I think I'm going to do. I'm going to be super lazy. I'm going to take this sprite there, put it up, and then actually I don't even need these two. Same for this. Take this, move it up. Don't need these two because I'm going for simplicity. When I get a bit more experience, I'm going to tackle this. But right now, I'm just trying to make this work. Let's go back to Godot. Oh, no, first we have to export this. Export, Tileset, export, yes. 3D artwork, rework, tiles. That is not, where did it export? There. Let's put that there. Oh, so I renamed it. Tileset terrain. So let's do the same here. Copy. And then rename the new one. And let's copy this to the project. I know it seems a bit tedious to do this way, but I like to keep two copies, one for the game and one for myself as a reference. If I don't want to overwrite the game, but I want a new version for the time being, then I can do that. Okay, so that means I've now totally broken this auto tile. So let's delete this region, make a new single tile, Enable snapping again. Save. Set up the collision to be square. It's going to be there. Let's undo the snapping. Just square. And I think that should be okay. Then we don't even need a bit mask. We've got the collision. Let's take a look at this. Nice and straight. And that should solve the problems. Ding, ding, ding. Yes. Outstanding. Doesn't look as cool as the curved bridge, but you know what? I count that as original artwork then. I'm kidding, of course. Okay, great. Happy times. Sorry, my key. Hope my joystick isn't too loud. All right, I think that was okay. So I'm going to do the same for the other bridge. Set up a new single tile. Enable snapping. New tile, collision. Disable this one. And just add a new rectangle square. It's going to be more or less the same. Oh, and don't forget to enable... Oh, gonna mess that up. Enable one-way collision. Select one-way collision. Same for this one. Because I'm actually going to try this out quickly. Let's see if we can give this a test run, make sure our one-way collision is working. So I'm going to try and put a bridge over here as well. So let's get out of the tile set into the tile map. So let's put a bridge like maybe there. And then our tiles, you can maybe put there and there. And I should be able to double jump to get up there. Let's see. No, dang it, it's not that easy. I was really sure that was the solution. I'm sure I've seen that somewhere before, and I was sure that's the answer. Let's see, open the docs. Oh, what's this? One-way collision margin. Where can we get to the docs? Godot docs. And let's look for one-way. Surely there won't be too many results. One-click deploy. Collision shape, here we go. It's one-way collision. Sets whether collision shape should be selected from top or bottom. The margin used for one-way collision pixels, higher values will make the shape thicker and work better for colliders shape at high velocity. Top or bottom. Sets whether the collision shape should only detect collision for one side, top or bottom. One-way collision. So I've enabled that. Default 1. 1 what? In pixels. So this is about 8 pixels, right? Enable one-way collision. So surely I should be able to just use it like that. Oh, why is this a convex polygon shape? Is it because I'm not... Well, let's delete that collision then. And a rectangle collision, right? Oh, it goes back to that anyway. Not sure what the difference is. Okay, so save. I don't see anything else that could affect the one-way collision. So let's see if I run the scene again, if the fact that I changed the pixel size did anything. Yes, that was it. Okay, cool. Then I should be able to press down and jump, as all classic platformers do, to get down again. Oh, did I get stuck there? Come on. Is that because of the width? Let's set it to 6 and see if that works. Because it's at the top, right? It can't go higher. I can't. Oh, it can go higher. Whoops. I thought I had it right at the top. That was probably the problem then. Yeah, that seems to have fixed the problem. Let's see. No, getting stuck. Nice. That was it. Okay, that fixed the problem. So now we've got the one-way collision fixed. And I think what we can do over here is we can check if we're on the ground and we're on a tile that has one-way collision enabled. How do I check that? How do I check that? Let's do what all good programmers do. Say Godot one-way collision tile map. Godot Engine is probably a good place to start. There's some tutorials there. Ooh, why is that so slow? Oh, interesting. All right, templates. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Oh, let's go and just add a card for this so I don't forget about this. So let's do drop down one-way collision tiles. I'm gonna nuke parallax backgrounds. I don't think it's useful. And then one thing I forgot to actually add here, because I got a little carried away today, was moving platforms. There we go. Cool. Okay, I think that's enough for now. I'm gonna continue working on this moving platform. Still running in the background, and see if I can figure out an easy way to do this. Maybe I'll come back and talk about what I did.